General, how about you come in on this? Yesterday we were talking about how Prime Minister Modi, he's made it quite clear that this is not an era of war. President Donald Trump, he said it time and again that I'm not here to start wars, I'm here to close them down, I'm here to end those wars. And just yesterday, he had a telephonic conversation with both the leaders, Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky. But now Zelensky taking a quick, sudden, different stance on that particular prospect. Hegseth, what NATO chief Mark Rutte had to say. Let's put all of that into context. Where are we going when we're looking at the 24 February fresh deadline to stop the Ukraine-Russia war?
Look, at the outset, these are all initial, uh, statements being made and initial positions being outlined. It's not necessary that this, what Mr. Zelensky has put out is his final stance. So he's making up his mind. After all, it was only yesterday that President Trump has spoken to President Putin and to Mr. Zelensky. Uh, and if you go to Truth Social, the President Trump has put the whole thing out in quite a great detail. And thereafter, the Defense Secretary Mike Hegseth he's also put out saying that look, Ukraine can't expect to go back to the pre 2014, you know, border era. And he's also said that he's virtually ruled out Ukraine joining NATO. Now, at this point of time, what Zelensky has come out and said is basically making a stand so that he is not fully, on a receiving end of the deal between President Trump and Putin. So this is just a thing; it'll play itself out. The talks are to start really tomorrow, as per what President Trump has said. So there's going to be a team. He's already put a team together, President Trump, consisting of Defense Secretary Marco Rubio, then of course, Mike Waltz and others, and of course Steve Witkoff. So all these three people are going to sit down and start talking with both parties, and certain things will come out. There are extreme positions. If you look at the Russian position, they will say they want the entire area, and they will say we will start talking only after we take out the Kursk salient, which Ukraine still holds about 11 kilometers in depth into Russia. Whereas Ukraine will like to use that as a negotiating position. So a whole lot of things are on the table. But the interesting thing is that the talks have started. That's the most interesting thing. Now, we were just discussing the issue of India, Russia, and USA and the oil problems and all that. Just think of it. Whatever happens, once Ukraine and Russia start talking, and there's some negotiated settlement which starts taking place, it'll ease our pressure off. It'll ease the pressure between India-Russia relations, and the Russian pressure will start, waning off. So there is a way forward which we can see in our relationship.
Just to tell the
So
viewers as
can
well,
you?
my apologies, General, for butting in on your thoughts like that. But Vivek Ramaswamy, the politician, entrepreneur, of course, Indian origin, somebody who formerly was going to run for the White House as well. He's made his way to the Blair House. He's next in line after NSA Mike Waltz and Elon Musk, the tech billionaire. It's Vivek Ramaswamy's turn to sit down for a mano a tete-a-tete with the Prime Minister at the iconic Blair House. Back to you, General. Do complete your thoughts. And next up, Sandeep, we really need to understand what the United States is trying to do in terms of breaking away Russia from China as well. We need to look at that as well, because only when they're going to be able to push Russia away from that Chinese, value chain, will they be able to really push China in that corner, which is again one of those strategies to counter China. Or maybe, I'm just thinking out loud. Let the general finish his thoughts, and I'm going to come to you next.
Yeah. No, I'll talk about that also, right? So there is a sliver of hope for India in this, where the deal goes, and the deal, like you said, has probably or the talk of a deal or a talk of a negotiated settlement has already set off probably a cat amongst the pigeons in China. If you look at the Chinese media, right? For like South China Morning Post or Goancha, the vernacular and all that, you get the feeling that look, at least the Chinese are thinking that whatever Russia is doing is against them. In fact, they've gone to the extent, there's a analysis which says, will Ukraine turn into something like Israel or Japan for USA tomorrow? That's the threat, right? Just think of Ukraine turning into such an ally of Russia.